in the heart of the dry western plains, where golden dust met the horizon, and the wind carried the scent of wild horses and lonely dreams, there stood the proud ranch of Chief Raymond Gray, a man known far and wide as the Iron Chief, but even more famous than the chief himself was his daughter, Elara Gray, the woman every cowboy dreamed of, but none dared to touch. She was beauty carved out of pride, tall, graceful, with the kind of confidence that could silence a room. Her eyes were like the river after a storm, calm on the surface, but deep, fierce, and untamed beneath. Folks said Elara had her mother's grace, but her father's fire, and both burned too bright for any man to handle. Men tried to win her heart, oh, they did. Cowboys, drifters, rich ranchers' sons, all tried to impress her with their horses, their guns, their gold. But Elara? She would look at them once, and turn away as if none of them existed. She had built walls around her heart so high, even love itself could not climb them. They said it was because of her past, the heartbreak that once nearly broke her, but she never spoke of it. Only her father knew, and he never mentioned it again, until one morning, when fate brought a stranger to the Gray Ranch. The sound of hooves echoed across the valley as the sun rose over the ridge. Chief Gray stood at the gate watching a lone rider approach. His horse was dark, strong, and fast, a true stallion. The man riding it was even tougher. Dust clung to his coat, his hat sat low over his brow, and his jaw carried the strength of someone who had fought more battles than he cared to count. When he stopped, he dismounted with quiet confidence. "Name's Luke Carver," he said, voice calm, deep, and full of quiet danger. "I heard you're looking for a man to help run your ranch." Chief Gray studied him. "You any good with horses?" Luke gave a faint smile. "I don't talk much about what I can do, sir, but your horses will tell you soon enough." There was something about the man, an aura of mystery, a silence that spoke louder than words. Elara, standing by the corral, watched him with suspicion. She didn't like strangers, especially the kind who thought they could waltz into her father's world. Chief Gray hired him anyway. Something about Luke felt right. Strong hands, honest eyes, and a quietness that only men who've suffered carry. But Elara? She decided right there she would keep her distance. Days turned to weeks. Luke worked harder than any man she'd ever seen. From dawn till dusk he was out there, breaking wild horses, fixing fences, helping the ranch hands, always silent, always respectful. He never looked at her twice, never flirted, never tried to impress her. That annoyed her. She was used to attention, used to men losing their breath around her. But this man, this stranger, acted like she didn't exist. So one evening, when the sky burned orange and the air smelled of hay and sweat, she walked up to him. "You don't talk much, do you?" she said, folding her arms. Luke didn't stop working. "Talking never fixed a broken fence, ma'am." "Or maybe," she smirked, "you just don't have anything worth saying." That made him glance up just once. His eyes met hers, and for the first time Elara felt something strange, something she couldn't explain. His gaze was calm, steady, and it saw straight through her. Then he looked away, saying softly, "Maybe." That night Elara couldn't sleep. She kept remembering that look, how it made her feel seen, not as a chief's daughter, not as some untouchable woman, but as a human being. And that scared her, because she had promised herself long ago she would never love again. The next day a storm hit the valley. The wind howled like a beast, and the rain came down heavy. The ranch hands rushed to secure the stables, but one of the young colts broke loose. Without thinking, Elara ran out into the storm. Her hair whipped in the wind, her boots sank in the mud, but she kept running, calling out for the frightened colt. Luke saw her and shouted, "Get back inside!" But Elara didn't listen. The colt was heading toward the river. She reached just in time, grabbed the rope, but slipped. The ground gave way beneath her feet. Before she could fall into the raging water, a strong hand caught her wrist. It was Luke. He pulled her close, so close that she could feel his heartbeat, wild and strong against hers. Rain fell hard between them, but neither moved. For a moment, The world went silent. Only the sound of their breathing filled the storm. His hand was warm, firm, safe. For years, Ilara had kept every man at arm's length. But in that 1 second, when his hand touched hers, the wall she had spent years building cracked. She pulled away quickly, trying to hide the tremble in her voice. "I didn't need your help." Luke looked at her, his eyes soft now. "Maybe not. But I wasn't about to let you drown." He walked away, leaving her standing there, soaked, confused, and breathless. That night, Ilara sat by her window, staring out at the dark fields. She thought about his eyes, his words, his touch. For the first time in years, her heart beat differently. "These aren't the statistics," but pride is a dangerous thing. The next morning, she put her mask back on, cold, proud, untouchable. She avoided him, refused to thank him, but deep inside, something had changed. Luke noticed too. Though he said nothing, his eyes lingered on her now, just quiet, protective, careful. And as days passed, the distance between them began to shrink. He would hand her the reins during training. Their fingers would brush. Just a second, but that second would burn. One evening, he found her struggling with a wild Mustang. The horse reared, angry and untamed. Ilara tried to hold on, but it was too strong. Luke rushed forward, grabbed the rope, and steadied the beast. Their hands met again, this time not by accident. Ilara looked up at him, breathless. "You think I can't handle it?" she asked. "I think you can handle anything," he replied quietly. "But no harm in letting someone stand beside you." For the first time, she smiled. "These aren't the statistics." As the sun set behind them, the wind carried a strange calm. Something unspoken had begun to bloom. Fragile, dangerous, but real. Ilara didn't know if it was love or something else. All she knew was that when Luke touched her, the world felt safer, softer, and that scared her more than anything, because the proud chief's daughter had sworn she'd never love again. But fate had already chosen otherwise.